My grandma had 13 kids by the time she's 63 years old.
Pernoma did?
Yeah.
Tell me what you remember about her.
He didn't know how to keep from having babies.
Can you tell me?
Uh,
Pernoma had 13 babies?
time she's 63 years old. Mm-hmm. And all lived too.
Tell me what you remember about Pernoma.
Mm. Oh, well, I don't recall a whole lot about her, even though I took care of her. Mama would let me go down there, and I wanted to. Thought a lot of her, and we didn't live too far apart. They lived down there across the river close to the store in that house. We didn't take a ride down through there, and I can show you all this stuff before I pass away. I wanted to take a ride through there so you can know where I grew up. And as they get older, may ask you a lot of questions.
Was she a nice lady?
Oh, yes. She was a great grandmother. I had her whole family there every Sunday for lunch. Every Sunday we went to Grandma's house.
What kind of food did she serve?
Just regular old country food, peas and cornbread and potatoes, peach cobbler, apple cobbler. It wouldn't be a whole lot of stuff. And then the other girls would bring stuff too. And I'll never forget that. We always knew on Sunday we were going to Grandma's house. All the kids came to Grandma's house on Sunday. That was a tradition. That was a tradition with everybody. And I tried to do that too for a while, and I saw working like I had to work. Not impossible. I was raised for that. But even though we didn't do that ourselves, but Grandma and Grandpa did.
Did you visit them, your grandparents?
What?
Did you visit Pernoma on the holidays for Christmas?
No, we stayed at home for Christmas.
Okay.
Daddy always put up a pine tree, a Christmas tree. If he couldn't find a Christmas tree in the woods, he would get a little pine tree. He'd string popcorn, popcorn, and get needle and thread and string it, decorate the tree with, and make his own. Daddy always did that. Mama didn't do it. Daddy did it.
Tell me about your grandfather, Sanford. What do you remember about him?
Oh, he ran a sawmill and a gin that ginned cotton and cotton bales, and he ground corn from cornmeal. There was a gin down there at Victory. Everybody came to have their food, their corn ground for mill, and have their cotton made into cotton bales, and always made a big $500, 500 pound a piece. You go down there with a wagon full of cotton, and we used to go with Daddy to the cotton gin, and he would pull that old horse, old mule and wagon up under the thing where they had a big suction thing that sucked the cotton out of the wagon.
Uh-huh.
And we would get in that wagon with the cotton, stick our head up in it, and let it pull all our hair up. Daddy was a good daddy. He always liked to mix with the fun for the young children.
Yes.
And play with the children. And my daddy ever did hit me a lick in his life.
So Sanford, your grandfather, worked at the cotton gin? He worked there?
He just ran that cotton gin and everything.
Okay.
And they had a syrup mill. We took our syrup cane down there, and it made ground syrup. had a mule that pulled the thing. It made it feed through and get the juice out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cooked on a long metal pan till it got to be syrup. The juice became syrup. And Daddy always poured it in big old 5-gallon jugs and stored it in our closet in the kitchen. And we had syrup all winter long to eat with our buttered biscuits. You ever had a jar of syrup?
I don't know.
Go over there to the vegetable market and see if they don't have some syrup. Get you a jar of syrup. You know what sorghum syrup is?
Yes, ma'am.
You ever eaten any of it?
Yes, ma'am.
It's good. And the saddest part about our growing up, we never had a lot of clothes. We never had over 2 pairs of shoes a year. But there wasn't no money. People didn't have no money. They didn't have nothing to get money from. You know? Everybody lived on a farm. And everything in the way of money had to come from what those hens laid eggs for. And Mama would sell a chicken and have a rolling store. It came by our house. And that's why we'd go out to the rolling store with 2 or 3 eggs in our hand and buy some candy. And Mama was pretty good about taking some syrup, making us some candy. She would make popcorn balls. You ever had a popcorn ball?
I think so, yes.
You pop your popcorn and cook that syrup a little bit and pour it over that popcorn, and you got the best popcorn balls you'll ever eat. We had a good time. We weren't hungry. We didn't go hungry. We had 2 cows that I milked. I milked the cows myself. And we always had milk and butter. And I used to have to churn. You had an old churn. You go up and down, up and down, up and down. And it came to butter. I always had a lot of fresh butter.
What happened? Whatever happened to Sanford, your grandfather?
Well, you see, back in those days, you didn't have nursing homes to put people in. Of course, after Grandma died, he came to live with us. Mama took him. And he lived with us a long time. And then Mama's sister, Aunt Clara Beck, lived down at Blackjack Mountain. You ever been to Blackjack Mountain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Aunt Clara took him down to her house. That's where he lived till he died. He was a diabetic, and some of his toes had come off. And he died with diabetes after he got up pretty old, probably in his 80s, maybe even 90. But see, Grandma just happened to come down with breast cancer. And back then, you know, she went to LaGrange. It took her to LaGrange to a doctor. It was nothing they could do for her. It was too far gone. And so when she was almost practically at her death, you might say just a few short breaths away, they called the doctor, and the doctor came, and the doctor would come in a horse buggy. He might have had an old A-model Ford. And he said to the children that was there with her, he said, "Do you all mind if I give her a shot and let her pass away?" They all agreed to it. That's what he did. I wish they could do that today.
Were you there, Grandma, when that happened? Were you there when the doctor came?
Yeah, the children were there with her.
You were there with her?
Not me, no.
Okay.
No, I wasn't there. Mama was.
Okay.
Mama was there when we lived up on the hill, and Mama would walk down there with, Mama would go just about every day down there. I went every day when I went in school. And I was 15 years old, 14, about 14, when she died. And I always stayed with her and give her water. And why? I don't know how we managed to feed her. I don't remember feeding her. I know after, so the day was over, Mama would come down there, and I guess Mama fed her.
Do you remember where Pernoma grew up? Did she grow up in Victory?
Where?
In Victory.
I grew up in Victory.
But Pernoma.
What about her?
Where did she grow up?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know where Grandpa met her. I was too young to know all that stuff. Wasn't interested in that.
Okay.
But I never was aware that she was an Indian, a part Indian or whatever. I didn't know that. Billy was the one that told us that Daddy had said that she was from an Indian tribe, and Grandpa had traveled into North Carolina and places like that, and it's in that book, on that thing you pull up on the computer. He went up into North Carolina. That's where he met her. He brought her back to Georgia, married her, and she started dressing like white people. Her hair got gray just like everybody else's. And you dress some of them Indians in just regular American clothes, they look like we do. I never looked at her and thought her as being an Indian. No one ever said anything about her being an Indian. No one. I mean, I didn't know she was. Never had heard it. I didn't hear it till Billy said something about it. I didn't know it till your mother said, Steve always said, Gloria, you look like you're part Indian. And then
she favors Ray, Grandma.
we got to thinking she was an Indian. But she didn't look like one. Not to me.
Gloria favors Ray.
Huh?
Gloria favors Ray.
Where's the grave?
No. Gloria favors Ray. She looks like her daddy.
Gloria does. Your mother does?
Yes.
She don't look like Ray at
Ray
all.
had black hair
She
and
don't
olive
look like
skin.
Ray one bit. Not one bit. I don't know where she got that little round face, because that's not in the Price family. Not in the Darvie family either. And I don't know where she got dimples. I don't know. They know dimples in none of the families.
Gloria, Pat, and Becky were brunettes. Dark hair.
They took their black hair. Her daddy, Ray, was black hair.
Yeah.
And I was real black hair. And my mother, your mother ever showed you the picture of my mother? She was a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman. You ever look at that picture out of a book she's got? Your mother?
I don't know. Maybe.
Look at it sometime.
All the Doherty girls are beautiful ladies. All of the Doherty girls are beautiful ladies.
The Doherty girls what?
Are beautiful ladies.
Yeah, but they
All
didn't
of
have.
them.
They didn't have black. Geraldine not have black hair. Her, she's a brown, like a light, dark blonde.
Well,
Betty Joe was a blonde, from a dark blonde. And Sarah Lou had black hair, and their mother had black hair. You ever see any pictures of the girl's grandmother Doherty?
I don't know.
Her name was Bertha. Bertha.
Bertha Lou?
Bertha, just all I ever knew was just Bertha. She was Armstrong. Bertha Armstrong.
Grandma, tell me about your parents.
Huh?
Tell me about your parents.
About what?
Tell me about Darvie.
My daddy?
Yes.
Well, all I know is just my daddy. He was a farmer.
What did he
Sharecropper.
What did he farm?
Sharecropper. He bought this farm where we live. He bought that. And that's where we farmed. He was a sharecropper. We lived at two different places where he tilled the soil and the land, cotton and corn and whatever we grew. And whenever he sold everything at the end of the growing season, he always had to pay the owner of the property half of it. He was a sharecropper at two different places where he grew a farm. A farm consisted of corn and cotton mostly. That way we could sell the cotton and have to give the owner of the land half of the money. That's how we made a living.
What kind of man was he?
Daddy, that's just an average country boy. He was a good-looking guy.
Was he a Christian man, Grandma? Was he Christian?
Christian. My daddy didn't become a Christian and join a church until sometimes around 50 years old. He would take Mama to church down there where we went. Revival going on one time, and they went down there. He would never go in. He would take her to church, and he'd stay outside. He would never go in. And that week, revival was going on, and one night he was standing outside, he and his brother, Herman, Nathan Price's daddy, you know, Price's floors, and my first cousin. And Daddy and him were standing outside, and his wife, Effie, and Mama was in the church, and I guess I was too, but I don't remember. And she said, when they gave the call, you know, like they do in the Baptist church, to come join the church and give your life to Jesus, said, here come Daddy down the aisle, and hallelujah, amen, Lord. And just went on and went on and went on the longest, just shouting and having a glorious time. I've been a sinner all my life, and I'm going to serve Jesus the rest of my life. I've been a drunkard, but I took care of my family. But Mama was so surprised when he come running down that aisle and joined and accepted Jesus, and he lived a Christian life the rest of his life. He went to heaven. He died at 53 years old.
How did he die?
Had a heart attack.
What do you remember about that?
What I remember about that? Well, I always knew he felt bad along about the last of his life. I was there. I lived back here. I'd already left Ray. I lived back here. I lived down the road toward Wheat Highway. I lived in a house in the country, me and the girls, not too far from Bowden. And the girls went to school at Bowden, and I still worked at school. I rode to work with my neighbor. She worked there too. We had a good life. They got pictures. Each one of them had a pair of pajamas on. That's what Christmas they got for Christmas. Anyway, I'd go back to Daddy. What I was fixing to say now. Oh, I was there. I know he had a heart attack 1 year before he died. He was in the hospital under a tent, oxygen tent. They didn't have these oxygen tanks like they do now. He was under a tent, and the doctor got him better, and he was dismissed and came home. 1 year later, on Easter Sunday, I was there, and he was telling me bye, because me and the girls were fixing to go home. He was telling me bye. Daddy was a loving man. He was real good to us kids. He was good to us. He didn't have a lot to offer us, but he was good to us. He did good things with us. He was just a young person's man. He loved young people. And that afternoon, as I was fixing to leave, he was sitting there on the porch. I said, Daddy, I look at you, you don't feel right. You don't look right. You look like you feel so bad. He said, Jerry, he called me Jerry. They all did. He said, Jerry, I don't feel right. But he said, take care. You and the girls come back. And so we left, and the next morning he died. He went to the well to get a bucket of water, and Mama was going, Lois was going to wash around, we washed out in the yard and used a big old wash pot and tubs. That's the way we had to clean our clothes. And he pulled water out of the well. You know how you draw water out with a bucket. You don't know nothing about things like that. And if y'all had to go back to doing that, when we grew up, you wouldn't last 2 days.
You're probably right.
Well, hey.
I heard a voice in here.
Let me finish telling my story.
We're telling stories about.
Okay. Mama said, well, look like Lucia should be finished by now. Said, Lois, you need to get your clothes together and let's get started. So Billy said, well, let me go see what Daddy's done. He went down there and he was dead under the car sheds. And Billy said he done turned black and cold.
How are you
And
today?
that was on a Monday after Easter Sunday.
I'm good. How are you,
Talking
Pat?
about Dave Price.
Yeah.
He's a young man.
Hey,